Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Intro music with mysterious, atmospheric tones and subtle wing-flapping sound effects begins, then fades to a lower volume as the host begins to speak. A small town nestled on the banks of the Ohio River, a community like any other, suddenly thrust into the international spotlight by a terrifying and unexplainable series of events. For 13 months, the people of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, were haunted by a winged, red-eyed creature that would become a legend. They called it the Mothman. But was this harbinger of doom a genuine cryptid, a mass hallucination, or something else entirely? More chillingly, did its appearance signal one of the most tragic disasters in American history? Today, we're peeling back the layers of fear and folklore to investigate one of the most compelling cases in all of cryptozoology. We'll examine the original sightings, the eyewitness accounts, and the terrifying connection to the catastrophic collapse of the Silver Bridge. We'll also delve into the scientific theories that attempt to explain away the Mothman, from misidentified wildlife to the psychological impact of a community on edge. By the end of this deep dive, you'll have all the evidence, and you can decide for yourself if the Mothman was a genuine monster or a product of myth. So, grab your tinfoil hats, turn down the lights, and let's journey back to 1966 to a town on the brink of a terrifying mystery. This is the story of the Mothman and its dark prophecy for the Silver Bridge. The legend of the Mothman didn't begin with a whisper. It started with a scream. On November 12, 1966, 5 gravediggers in Clendenin, West Virginia, reported seeing a man-like figure soaring just above the trees. This was just a prelude to the encounter that would truly ignite the phenomenon. 3 nights later, on November 15th, 2 young couples from Point Pleasant were driving near an abandoned World War II TNT factory. As they drove, their headlights caught something truly terrifying. A towering winged creature, somewhere between 6 and 7 feet tall, stood on the side of the road. Its most chilling feature? 2 large, glowing red eyes. In a panic, the couples sped away. But the creature, they claimed, took to the skies, easily keeping pace with their car even as it reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour. They described its wingspan as being around 10 feet, and it made no sound as it pursued them to the Point Pleasant city limits. Shaken, they went directly to the police. The following day, Sheriff George Johnson held a press conference, and the story of the Mothman, a name coined by a local newspaper editor, began to spread like wildfire. Over the next 13 months, over 100 sightings of the Mothman were reported in and around the Point Pleasant area. The descriptions were remarkably consistent. Tall, humanoid figure with massive wings and hypnotic, glowing red eyes. Some witnesses, like contractor Newell Partridge, reported their television sets malfunctioning and their dogs disappearing shortly before or after an encounter. Partridge described seeing 2 red circles in the darkness of his fields, which he initially thought were from a flashlight, but they were attached to a creature he couldn't fully comprehend. He claimed his dog, Bandit, shot off after the creature, never to be seen again. The sightings created a palpable sense of fear and unease throughout the community. People were afraid to go out at night, and the TNT area became a place of both dread and morbid curiosity. The Mothman wasn't just a fleeting glimpse in the dark. For the people of Point Pleasant, it was a very real and present threat. The question on everyone's mind was simple. What was this creature, and what did it want? The answer, some believe, would come in the most tragic way imaginable, forever linking the Mothman to a dark and devastating prophecy. While the stories of a winged humanoid with glowing red eyes are certainly compelling, science demands a more grounded explanation. Skeptics and researchers have proposed a number of theories over the years to explain the Mothman phenomenon, many of which point to misidentification of known animals. The most prominent of these theories suggests that what people were actually seeing was a sandhill crane. These are large birds with a wingspan that can reach up to 7 feet, and they have reddish coloring around their eyes. It's plausible that in the darkness, with the glare of headlights, a startled crane could be mistaken for something more sinister. Another avian candidate is the great horned owl or the barred owl. Both are native to the area and have large, reflective eyes that can appear to glow red when hit by a light source. An owl, with its silent flight and intimidating stare, could certainly give someone a fright on a dark country road. However, many eyewitnesses insist that what they saw was far too large to be an owl and had a distinctly humanoid shape. They also maintain that the creature's eyes were self-luminous, not merely reflective. Beyond the misidentification theory, some have suggested that the Mothman's sightings were a form of mass hysteria. The initial, sensationalized newspaper reports could have planted a seed in the minds of the community, leading others to interpret mundane events through a supernatural lens. The Cold War was also at its height, and the presence of a former military installation like the TNT plant could have fostered an atmosphere of paranoia and suspicion. There have also been more unconventional scientific proposals. Some have theorized that the creature could have been an undiscovered species, or perhaps even a mutated animal from the chemically contaminated TNT area. However, there is no physical evidence to support these claims. No bodies, no nests, no feathers, and no definitive photographic evidence of the Mothman have ever been found. This lack of tangible proof is the biggest hurdle for those who believe in a biological explanation for the creature. While the scientific explanations are logical, for many who claim to have seen the Mothman, they simply don't do justice to the terror of their experience. Just as suddenly as they began, the Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant seemed to cease after the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge on December 15, 1967. This disaster, which claimed the lives of 46 people, solidified the Mothman